Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to India. Dustin, the Amrut Fusion X, 50% ABV. Comes in this cool bag, cool box, and man, it's got the Air Jordan 5 lace ties, man.
They did the bag right, and this isn't your Van Winkle or Blanton's. It's a nice one and beautiful decanter.
Is that ceramic?
I believe so, and then on top of that, I don't know if I think the tag somehow has been just disheveled.
Oh, sorry.
But they've got a little tag that comes on this thing where apparently you can use a phone app and it'll you can use it to validate that it's a legit real bottle.
Oh, sweet. That's the next level.
That's kind of cool. Now, unfortunately, I did try doing that and I couldn't get the app to work. So
2021, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Not with everything. All right, so a little bit different type of whiskey than we normally do. Tell folks about this one, Dustin.
Yeah, so if you guys know anything about Amrut, the Fusion's kind of like probably their most popular sort of entry-level-ish whiskey. It's around $80-$90. It's not cheap, but it is the whole idea of Fusion was they brought together barley from Scotland and from India. You get kind of a nice little combination of both. So it's going to have a little bit of peat in it, Mike, not a lot. Mm-hmm. And then that's usually aged about 4 years. And I assume it's aged in like traditional barrels. I really have never seen the barrel maturation on Fusion before. This one they take and then they age it for an additional 4 years in first fill PX. Now, so we're saying this is 8 years old. Keep in mind, 12 years is about as old as any of the whiskeys from India have gotten, and they only can do that by aging them in caves. So this is not going to come off like an 8-year-old whiskey.
No, yeah, let's get into this one. Beautiful color. These are natural color,
yes? Yes, they are natural color. I know that. I can't see anything about chill filtration. I don't know if Amrut does or not. So if you guys know, let us know down below.
Yeah, so this initially is very aggressive.
It smells beautiful, man.
Yeah, no, it's a good. The PX cast, its sherry notes are very recognizable on this particular one.
A little bit of cinnamon coming in there. A little bit of earthiness.
Spice.
Could be peat, could be just sort of like the smoked just heat fusion where like because it's such a hot climate, just the way the whiskey interacts with the barrel starts taking on a little bit like it goes a little deeper into it. God, that PX.
Yeah, PX is interesting because it contrasts it so well. This smell, to add on what you already talked about, there is like that clay almost. I know I brought this up. Were you know what baijiu is?
No.
It's a Chinese drink. So they kind of age it like these little clay enclosures for the most part. There's a little bit of like a clay rice wine note to it.
You know, I get something similar on the Amrut and on some of the Texas whiskey that's out there. It's usually a little more assertive on the Texas stuff I've had. This is a little more subtle, much more an element of the whiskey versus like a dominant note. I mean, let's be honest, the dominant note here is the PX and then that barley you're getting.
Yeah, a lot of barley.
A lot of barley.
It almost reminds me of something like from maybe Port Charlotte or something like that. Or Berglotti, you know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those kind of more farm earth, more natural, where they really want you to
taste the barley.
They want you to know that it's their barley, it's Isla barley or whatever.
It almost reminds me of the old classic Latin.
Yeah, and I can't remember where they're sourcing their barley. If it is Isla, I assume it is because I do believe there is a hint of peat in these. Not a lot. They do have full peated whiskey, by the way. They even did one of their Greedy Angels. They did a sherry finished 12-year-old peated version, but unfortunately that was like $1,000.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is all the Amruts I've tried. This is definitely the best nosing one by a nice margin.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is. I've had the opportunity to have one of the Greedy Angels. I had one of the last release 8-year-olds, and it reminded me of like a good independent bottling of Boona. But nothing, wowing me, just sort of like a good quality $200 bottle of whiskey. And I think it costs a little more than that, so.
All right, buddy, I'm going to the palate.
Go for it, man. Yeah, but I mean, just really, really, really nice sugars coming in here as well. Again, then usually when you get barley, you start getting some nice sugar coming in, and then just real rich, fruity PX. I mean, it is red fruits, heavy, and very oily, waxy smelling. Not waxy, oily and rich.
Man, really cash-driven on the finish. Initially on the palate, nice soft, got some nice light fruits to it. Again, there's almost like a gritty, sandy clay note to it. Like right initially when you swallow, but that goes away instantly. And the PX just kind of just takes over that finish. Nice, sticky, fruity.
A lot of nice oak too.
Yeah, nice barley note kind of just lingering in the background. But yeah, you're right. Nice little cask note to it as well. I mean, And then right at the end, a little bit of chocolate that kind of just settles in.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the best Amrut I had by a wide stretch. It took the things I didn't like about Amrut and really toned those things down.
Yeah, these
and brought
PX
flavor.
casks have really kind of, they're not hiding it because you still get the Amrut character.
But it took the lead.
It took the lead, and for some reason the Amrut character is just kind of softened here. There's a little more, little more sweetness comes through, even in the malt. It's a little more chocolatey in the malt. And I know PX is adding some of the chocolate, but you can tell when you're getting that finish. You can tell when the barley's really kicked in.
Yeah, you can.
In fact, what's funny is I literally was saying in my head, "Ooh, that's the barley note," as you were saying it earlier. I'm like, "Damn, Mike's reading my mind here."
Well, you remember I said the barley notes linger in the background. Okay, so you're right. It was just the volume came up, like the bass came up as the treble went down.
Yeah.
And really, it was there at first, but it was small and the kind of crescendo, more towards the end.
A lot of people talk about, Mike, is how they enjoy a whiskey with transitions, where it starts and finishes differently. This one nails it.
Yeah, no, it definitely had a couple transitions.
Super sweet up front, very nice. Almost like one of the easiest drinking whiskeys you've ever had. Then comes the Amrut character, and the Amrut character then has a little of that peat in it, a little earthiness, and then it shifts to the barley. And then as the barley fades, you start getting a little bit of the oak, and then you get the PX coming back again with more chocolatey notes.
Now, I will say, what I say is clay or sandiness, I think you are describing as like the distillery characteristics, or like the earthy note with the distillery characteristics. So I think we're talking about the same thing. We're just saying it in a different way.
Yeah, again, that's where that slightly peated element is there.
It's a weird peat. It's just dry and chalky.
Yeah, again, I think that's a combination of the terroir of where this is aged in the barrel, as well as that hybrid of Indian and Scottish barley.
Yeah, it's a weird mix, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the flavors just. I think there is a distinct part of this whiskey, 40% maybe, let's say, that's just driven by those casks. And then I think there's a small piece, 15-20% of it, that is just a barley mix richness, and then the rest of it's just the distillery characteristics I normally get from Amruts.
So we've lost some of the fruitiness with water, Mike. It's more barley and sweet sugars than it is red fruit and PX elements.
I tell you what, the traditional Amrut characteristic really got washed out with a few drops of
I
water.
don't smell any of that Amrut really. I mean, just a hint.
Like that clay note's completely gone.
Now it just smells like a really well-aged
Sherried Speyside whiskey.
Yeah, like refilled sherried whiskey, like just.
Yeah, I lost it. I lost the Amrut.
I mean, this is like reminding me almost like a Boona 25 kind of level nose, like just very.
Yeah, that's a good descriptor. Very clean, simple, nothing off-putting. A little bit of spice.
Yeah.
Touch of spice, maybe something herbal.
Well-aged and refined.
Comes off very old.
Yeah, and again, very refined. I mean, this is not like oaky, tannic notes either. It's just
I put 3 or 4 drops in, man. Maybe that was too much.
Well, it's going down the palate.
Maybe got a bit aggressive with that. It is only 50% ABV. Still good on the palate? That's good to hear. They can take a little bit of water. That's a good sign, too. What are you picking up?
Oh, man. Yeah. So the PX comes out a little bit more than on the nose here. But yeah, again, rich, sweet, refined.
Sugar sweetness.
Comes off a little bit younger than the nose, Whereas the nose, you could have been thinking you were getting close to 30 year. This maybe just right at 20. But that's definitely what I'm thinking as I'm drinking a 20-year-old something, or so whiskey. Very good up front. Finish lost a little with water. That's the only place that lacked anything. So if you like water, you're not going to lose much at all. And I'm getting a nice finish here.
Yeah. Actually, the nose changed more dramatically than the palate.
Yeah.
The palate stayed fairly consistent.
And yeah, like Mike said, he kind of went a little heavy-handed for us at least.
Yeah, a little bit of
he didn't quite go Ralphie level. He didn't have 3 tablespoons, but...
Yeah, we got into it a little bit, though. Yeah, I would say, initially, even with water, fruity and sugary, initially on the palate, a little more than it was before. You swallow instantly that clayish, earthy, Amrut normal note that I get, and then, just follows up nicely, and with just the exact same thing to come back with just a little bit of chocolate on the end.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, nice whiskey. Or we have first whiskey score on this one.
Mike, every time I have this, my score goes up on it. I'm almost at a 91, but I think I'm going to stop just short and say 90.
Oh, wow. I thought my score was going to be high. 88.
Ooh, that's a little low in my mind.
Really?
I mean, this has got everything. It's got multiple transitions.
Yeah.
Mouth feels really solid. I mean, at 50%, it's doing the job. I wish it was cast strength, but...
Yeah, I still say The distillery characteristic of that clay note that I keep talking about.
You still don't like it? That's still causing it's an off-putting note for you?
That's an off-putting note for me.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's probably the difference. I actually really enjoy it because I like that. I like that character.
I mean, it's not off-putting. It's just it's toned down in this, but it's still there.
That's fair.
But I tell you what, the cask maturation on this, I think that's some solid cask.
And you're somebody who really doesn't like Amrut generally. Like we haven't brought you guys Amruts in large part because Mike just doesn't want to drink them.
Yeah, but this one is worthy of having. And again, 88's a good score, man.
88's a great score for you on anything.
I just rated this higher than that Macallan Rare Cask Black we just had.
Yeah.
And I paid $400.
Which, by the way, just for real quick here, so we just our last review was Macallan Rare Cask Black, and now we're talking Amrut Fusion. Both lightly peated, heavy sherry.
Good
is this even close? Is the comparison?
Yeah, I mean, again, I
think this one's not just a little better; it's a lot better.
It's a little better. It's a little bit better. It tastes like older whiskey.
Yeah.
I will say that. It tastes like older whiskey.
Okay.
It tastes like the cask maturation was at least as good, if not better. It was behind initially from the distillate.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. If you don't want to taste your distillate, get Macallan.
And we know Macallan distillate. We had the bourbon. We had the one bourbon one. It wasn't all that.
You're like,
it needs to be covered up. It needs to be covered up.
Not necessarily covered up. It just needs help because it's basically dead.
Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular one. If you guys had a chance to try any Ambers, let us know. If you had a chance to try this particular Fusion X.
1,010 bottles. I think 216 made it to the States. So
we like rare.
Not an easy one, and about $330, which I think is pretty fair when you consider the quality of the whiskey. And then I think they've done some really cool stuff on the packaging. I think this is a fun one to have.
Cool box.
Yeah.
Cool bag.
Yeah.
I like the ceramic.
Yeah.
I wonder if that messes with the taste. Probably not.
I doubt it.
Probably coating on the
I was gonna say modern day stuff's probably got some kind of coating.
I would imagine they figured that out. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the whiskey. Let us know what you guys think if you had a chance to try it. Again, we don't often bring you these Amruts, but we like to be as well-rounded as we possibly can. So Dustin was spoke highly about this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time,
happy drinking.
We'll see you then.